To an excerpt from the lyrical essay Joyas Voladoras, an Ode to the Heart by Brian Doyle. Consider the hummingbird for a long moment. A hummingbird's heart beats 10 times a second. A hummingbird's heart is the size of a pencil eraser. A hummingbird's heart is a lot of the hummingbird. Joyas Voladoras. Flying jewels, the first white explorers in the Americas called them. And the white men had never seen such creatures, for hummingbirds came into the world only in the Americas, nowhere else in the universe. More than 300 species of them whirring and zooming and nectaring in Hummer time zones 9 times removed from ours. Their hearts hammering faster than we could clearly hear if we pressed our elephantine ears against their infinitesimal chests. So much held in a heart in a lifetime. So much held in a heart in a day, an hour, a moment. We are utterly open with no one in the end, not mother and father, not wife or husband, not lover, not child, not friend. We open windows to each, but we live alone in the house of the heart. Perhaps we must. Perhaps we could not bear to be so naked for fear of a constantly harrowed heart. When young, we think there will come one person who will sustain and savor us always. When we are older, we know this is the dream of a child, that all hearts are finally bruised and scarred, scored and torn, repaired by time and will, patched by force of character, yet fragile and rickety forevermore. No matter how ferocious the defense and how many bricks you bring to the wall. You can brick up your heart as stout and tight and hard and cold and impregnable as you possibly can imagine, and down it comes in an instant, felled by a woman's second glance, a child's apple breath, the shatter of glass in the road, the words, "I have something to tell you." The brush of your mother's papery ancient hand in the thicket of your hair, the memory of your father's voice early in the morning echoing from the kitchen where he is making pancakes for his children. When I first read and heard this lyrical essay, I knew I encountered something exquisite. It's what writers do. They leave you breathless, threadbare, exposed, changed. Imagine never having the experience of reading something so beautiful, so real, so wow. Good morning, my name is Melanie Peltz, and this morning as we prepare our hearts for Advent, I get to extend an invitation to you to read. It is an act of courage, of vulnerability and rebellion to read. It is no wonder that people in power want us to do less of it. That's reason enough for me to keep doing it. Don't tell an angry old lesbian in Aries what not to do. Even more so, reading brings us together. It creates a shared experience in spite of our varied interpretations. Remember your life-giving moments, sharing stories or books that brought you a sense of joy or hope. Were there titles that sparked a memory for you, an emotion, an idea? If you're willing, I need to hear 3 titles that either you said or heard in your life-giving moment. I'll start. I heard Cloud Atlas as a story or a novel I should read. I need a few more. Ooh, very good. Thank you.
Lord of the Rings.
Ooh. Look, what's... Yes, Anne Lamott, right?
Yes, Rising Strong.
Yes. Oh, this is good. They keep coming. Yeah. Ooh. Thank you for the reading list, you guys. So now we're going to play a little game. I'm going to read a quote, and you name either the text or the author. It's in no particular order, from no particular genre or time period. There are 7 if you want to make a list in your bulletin or in your notebook or whatever. I love these games, and my friends and family groan as soon as I say that they're coming. Admittedly, this will be much easier if you paid attention in your high school English class, but that's beside the point. We're gonna start easy. And I know there are some fellow English teachers in here, so feel free to say it loud and proud when you know what it is. This is very easy. And so, at 9 o'clock, it got very specific, like page number even, and I don't need that, just generally. My soul magnifies the Lord. Well, I got the actual books of the Bible. The Bible, right? Okay, don't be shy. Number 2. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win because you'll play against you. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go, though the hack and cracks howl. Onward. Okay, good. Okay, I had a lot more to read, but I thought you might already have it. Okay, number 3. And so we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. Very good. Love it. Okay. Anybody getting them all so far? Yeah. 2 households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, Romeo and Juliet. We got it. Yes. All right, we ready? What is this? 5? Okay. He said, you become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily. Good job. I'm going to read the whole thing just because it deserves it. No, please. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off and your eyes drop out and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all because once you are real, you can't be ugly except to people who don't understand. Okay. Next one. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and it has made all the difference. I love you reading it along with me. Yeah. Okay. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. Declaration of Independence. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. Anybody 7 for 7? Oh, it's okay. That's good. So reading connects us, right? We have shared comprehension. It creates community, especially when we read the same words and have different insight. Even when we comprehend words through our unique, sometimes troubled, often wild lens. Okay, I messed this up last service, but we'll get it right. Do you remember the posters and school initiatives for reading? Yes. Okay, what was it? It was... Oh, many of them. Dear. I was thinking dare because, like mix up the words like in letters. And so dare is not about reading. Dare is about drugs. Don't do them. Don't. But drop everything and read, right? So reading, I prefer the dare thing for reading, just because it's an act of rebellion, an act of courage. Of vulnerability, of piecing together the places that are broken. Because there's brokenness everywhere. If only you'll read about it. It's an act of compassion, of life and faith, of wholeness and humanity that's found in the written word. A life without reading is a life lived less, perhaps less abundant, less connected, less engaged, less adventurous, less interesting. I know it's a radical statement and perhaps expected and predictable from one of your resident English teachers. And I've heard it all before. I'm not a reader. I don't have time. I don't like reading. And of course, in my high school student voice, ugh, reading sucks. It's so boring. So I'm prepared to fight you on this one. It's not my first rodeo, but I don't want to fight you on this one. I don't think I have to. I'm venturing to guess. I'm not here to get you to read. You already do, whether that's audiobooks or articles or novels or whatever that shows up like for you. I'm not here to give you your next book recommendation, although thank you for yours, but rather to ensure that we protect and empower this sacred practice, the right and privilege to read in our communities, in our home, in our state, in our nation, and our globe. Are there any Friends fans here at Urban Abbey? We've watched the sitcom. Remember the one when Joey reads Little Women? Do you remember? He's reading one of the chapters where Beth is very ill, and he's sitting in the kitchen very sad, and Rachel comes over, and he's afraid that if he keeps reading it, she will die. So Rachel asks him, do you need to put the book in the freezer? Deny, avoid. And I just think, can you imagine Deborah telling us to put the Bible in the freezer when it gets a little too deathy or too violent or too scary? We'd read it even less than we do now. Anyway, this fall I read Little Women again for what felt like the first time. And it was a roller coaster ride for me. I was like, yay, Joe, be true to you. And then I was like, boo, Joe, why can't you just be gay? And then the air quotes of like this shocking presence of a person of color, but they're using 19th century language of quadroon, which I never would have caught as a young child. The book is a powerful exposition of women's experiences, complex, layered, heavy, and light, and it wrestles with questions of identity, faith, gender roles, and the truth is that there is a wide spectrum of wisdom, as much as we may be inclined to narrow it. I can't wait for us to explore all the wisdom of Little Women during Advent here at the Urban Abbey. Reading opens us in ways that when we say, may we have the courage, we have characters and history and ideas to build on, to replicate, or to actively rebuke. Imagine this. Without reading, I'm just giving, can give, have to give, no choice but to give, get to, indoctrinate students with my own ideas. Without reading, they get my insights, they get my history, they get my interpretation. And without reading, I could create a space for brainwashing, making little BIPOC supporting LGBTQ2IAS plus loving social justice soldiers. I mean, that would be awesome. But are you hearing the danger? When someone wants you or anyone to stop reading, it means they want to do all of that, but perhaps with less holy intentions. Reading is essential. Beware the people unwilling to engage with the complexities that make life life because they won't read. The problems with reading are not, the problems with not reading are innumerable. The problems with reading is that there's just never enough time. Read because writers have the most exquisite things to say about the truest human experience. Like when Brian Doyle says, so much held in a heart in a lifetime. They give words when we feel speechless, clarity when we feel confused, insight when we feel lost. Read The Letter from a Birmingham Jail. Read Just Mercy. Read Little Women. Read Untamed. Read Hood Feminism. Read The Bluest Eye. Read Biblical Prophets and Narratives. Read and learn more about who you are, who others are, and how we can make room for all at the table. Jesus calls us to draw the circle wide. People who let hate live in their hearts ask us to narrow the spectrum, build borders, walls, and fences to keep others out, to stop reading. Don't let that win. Read. Find the thing that doesn't bore you, that doesn't overcomplicate things for you, that challenges you and changes you, that speaks to you. You'll never be the same. The world will never be the same. Transformed. May we have the courage. May it be so. Amen.